I lost you because I was poor.
Poverty stole our chance.
He lost her because he was poor? A tragic tale of love and loss.
The woman who fell in love with a poor man. Long ago, in a village surrounded by tall Iroko trees and red earth paths, there lived a man named Kofi. He was not known for wealth. He was not known for influence. He was not known for power. But he was known for his honesty. Kofi lived in a small mud house at the edge of the village. The roof leaked when the rains were heavy. The wooden door creaked whenever the wind blew. His clothes were always clean, but they were old and patched many times over. Every morning before the sun rose, he carried his farming tools across his shoulder and walked into the fields. He worked harder than most men, yet remained poor. The villagers respected him, but they pitied him too. Hard work does not always bring fortune, the elders would say whenever his name was mentioned. But Kofi did not complain. He believed that one day, the earth would answer his labor. One afternoon, something unexpected happened. A young woman arrived in the village. She came riding in a decorated cart, dressed in fine cloth, her skin glowing like the morning sun after rain. Gold beads rested on her neck. Her bracelets chimed softly as she moved. Her name was Adana. She was not from that village. Rumors spread quickly that she came from a wealthy family in a neighboring town. Some said her father was a trader who owned many lands. Others whispered that she had rejected many rich suitors. The moment the young men saw her, they began to compete for her attention. They brought her gifts. They offered to show her the village. They boasted about their farms, their livestock, and their family names. But Adana did not seem impressed. Instead, her eyes kept wandering toward the far edge of the village, toward Kofi's small hut. The first time she spoke to him, he was returning from the farm, his feet covered in dust. "Good evening," she said gently. Kofi stopped, surprised that such a woman would speak to him. "Good evening," he replied, cautious. "I have heard about you," she continued. "They say you are the most hardworking man here." Kofi frowned slightly. Praise made him uncomfortable. "Hard work is nothing special," he answered. "It is what a man must do." From that day forward, Adana began visiting him often. She would sit outside his hut and ask about his day. She would bring him food he could not afford. She laughed at his dry jokes. She listened when he spoke about his dreams of owning a bigger farm someday. But Kofi's heart did not open. Instead, suspicion grew. Why would a woman like her choose a man like him? The village noticed. Some said she must be under a spell. Some said she was mocking him. Others warned Kofi that beauty often hides danger. Kofi himself believed it was some kind of scam love. She is testing me, he thought. Perhaps she wants to laugh at the poor man who believed he could have her. So he kept his distance emotionally. When she tried to hold his hand, he gently pulled away. When she spoke of a future together, he changed the subject. When she offered to help repair his leaking roof, he refused. But Adana did not give up. Weeks turned into months. One evening, heavy rain began to fall unexpectedly. Thunder cracked across the sky like the anger of the gods. The wind howled fiercely. Kofi rushed to secure his crops. In the chaos, he saw a figure struggling in the storm. It was Adana. She had come to see him despite the weather. The rain soaked her fine clothes. Mud stained her feet. Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating her determined face. "Why are you here?" Kofi shouted over the storm. "I came because you matter to me," she shouted back. He grabbed her arm and pulled her into his hut for safety. Inside, water dripped from the roof. The small fire in the corner flickered weakly. She looked around at his humble home without disgust, without fear. "I do not care about wealth," she said softly. "I care about you." But Kofi's heart remained guarded. "You do not understand," he replied. "A woman like you cannot truly want this life." She stepped closer to him. "I choose this life," she insisted. But Kofi moved back. He believed she was forcing something that could not be real. He feared humiliation more than loneliness. He feared waking up one day to find her gone, laughing at him from afar. So he resisted her countless times. And slowly, something inside Adana began to break. The villagers began whispering again. She humiliates herself chasing a poor man. Maybe she has lost her senses. Maybe she seeks something hidden. The pressure grew heavy. One day, Adana stopped coming. No visits. No laughter. No gentle greetings at sunset. Kofi felt relief at first. This is good, he told himself. Now I can live in peace. But peace did not come. Instead, silence came. Days felt longer. The farm felt heavier. The evenings felt emptier. One market day, news spread through the village like wildfire. Adana had agreed to marry a wealthy merchant from another town. The same men who once failed to win her now celebrated her engagement. Music filled the air as preparations began. When Kofi heard the news, something inside him shattered. He tried to ignore it. She was never serious, he told himself. But that night, sleep refused to visit him. He remembered the storm. He remembered her standing in the rain. He remembered her voice saying, "I choose this life." The next day, he saw her walking through the village, dressed beautifully once more. But her smile no longer reached her eyes. Their gazes met. For the first time, he saw pain there. Not anger. Not pride. Pain. And suddenly, Kofi understood. She had never been pretending. She had never been mocking him. She had never been playing a game. She had truly loved him. And he had been the one afraid. On the morning of her wedding procession, the drums echoed loudly across the land. Villagers gathered to celebrate. Kofi stood at the EDG. Kofi stood at the edge of the crowd, his chest tight with regret. He wanted to speak. He wanted to shout. He wanted to tell her he had made a mistake. But fear held him silent again. As the decorated cart carried her away, Adana did not look back. And in that moment, Kofi learned a painful truth. Poverty does not destroy love. Fear does. Years later, Kofi became more successful. His farm expanded. His name gained respect. Wealth slowly came to him. But love did not. Whenever the rain fell heavily against his roof, he remembered the woman who once stood in the storm for him. He realized too late that he had fallen in love with the wrong person afterward, trying to forget her. That second woman valued only his growing wealth. She left him when a richer man appeared. That was when the lesson fully settled in his heart. True love had once knocked at his broken door. And he had refused to open it. From that day, the elders began telling the story of the woman who loved the poor man and the poor man who feared love more than poverty. And they would end the tale by saying, "When love comes to your hut in the rain, do not send it away because your roof is leaking." For sometimes, the greatest wealth a person will ever see is the heart that chooses them when they have nothing. And that is how the story is told.
Subscribe to Crowncy African Story.